Hi guys, Steve Ballard here again with another antique firearms video. I think many of you know that I have a real interest in Remington #2 sporting rifles, and so I recently learned about a new to me. I just found out about this. It's a Remington prototype cadet rifle that was built on the #2 sporting rifle action. It's in the Remington Museum, and so I've been learning a bit about it, and it is chambered in the 44 centerfire cartridge, which is pretty rare chambering. And this rifle dates to the probably early to mid 1880 period. And it's not, the 44 centerfire is not the same as 4440 or 44 Winchester. In fact, in Remington's world, it was the same. It was basically the equivalent of the 44 rimfire. Now it gets kind of dicey here because there are different 44 rimfire cartridges. There's a 44 rimfire short, there's the 44 Henry rimfire, there's the 44, what we just call the 44 rimfire, which is also called the long, and then there's an extra long also. But I found that I have another Remington #2 sporting rifle in 44 rimfire originally, since been converted to centerfire. And I found that the chamber dimensions are basically exactly the same as the 44 Smith & Wesson American cartridge. So there was some collaboration going on way back then, but there wasn't a whole lot of standards either. But anyway, this interest in this prototype #2 and 44 centerfire kind of made me think it'd be kind of fun to bring my 44s out and do another little video about them. Now, if you've watched my channel, you've seen I already have one video on the 44 Ballard, and I have another video on the Remington #2 and 44 centerfire. But I brought both those rifles back out today to shoot together here and talk a little bit more about them. So they're very early. These are early rifles. The Ballard dates to about 1863 or 1864. In fact, it's probably one of the very earliest metallic cartridge sporting rifles made. In the mid-18th, the middle of the Civil War, this rifle was made. And the Remington rolling block, the #2 in 44, was made probably in the mid to late 1870s, so it's a little bit later. But the two cartridges are not the same. They're both chambered in 44 rimfire, but they're different cartridges too. So let me show you these cartridges. I've got them set up here. I'm going to bring the camera over. Hopefully you can see these well enough here. So as you can see here, the centerfire one over here, this is for the Remington, which has been converted to centerfire. It was originally a rimfire, and then this is its cartridge here, and it's a little shorter than the Ballard cartridge. And the Ballard is still rimfire, so I make my reloadable rimfire cases for it. Also, the case diameters are different. The Remington case I use, in this case, it's a 41 Magnum brass that I use. I also make them out of 303 Savage brass. And then the Ballard cartridge is actually made from 4440 brass that's been shortened a bit. But the Ballard one's a little bit longer also. So they're not interchangeable. And back in these days, long before there were any significant standards in the firearms industry, you were just expected to know what your rifle took based on the manufacturer and what they recommended. So there's a bit of difference here. So we're going to shoot each one of them today. I've got some targets set up at about 35 yards or so, not very far away. But I thought we'd take a few shots with each one of them. So I'm going to start with the Ballard, and I'll bring this over to get a little closer look at it. Again, this rifle was made by Ball & Williams, and it was probably made in the 1863-1864 period, single shot. It has a manual extractor here. When the breech block is down all the way, you pull this little lever and it extracts the cartridge. But it's a really nice, very nice rifle. Shoots quite well. It's a lot of fun for being, nearly 160 years old. So we'll take a few shots with this one, and then we'll take the #2 rolling block. All right, so come up over here. Now these cases are my reloadable rimfire cases, and I have to orient them with the 22 blank primer at the 12 o'clock position because that's where the firing pin hits. All right, here we go. Open it. Use the little lever to extract the case. Pops right out. Put another one in. They extract really nicely. Very, very good. The extractor, while manual, it works very well. All right. One more here. All right. So that's the Ballard. Let's go over here to the Remington. I'll bring this one over here a little closer. So this is a #2 sporting rifle, and I know people sometimes get confused about what model numbers these Remingtons are, whether it's a #1 or 1.5 or 2 or 4. But I'll tell you, the #2s are very easy to recognize. They're the only model that have the scalloped rear section on the back of the receiver, so they're really quick, easy to recognize at a glance. This one has the factory sling swivels, which is quite an unusual option back in those days. Still has nice color case hardening and has a very, very nice rifling too. All right, let's go take a few shots with this one. Now these are both heel bullets, by the way. Heel bullet is the heel is smaller than the driving bands. The driving bands of both these cartridges, the bullets are the same diameter as the case. So kind of like a 22 is today still. All right. Okay. It shoots nice. This is a little, not quite as powerful as a 44-40. It's a little bit shorter, but it's pretty similar. I don't have the chronograph out today, but I've chronographed loads with this cartridge in the rolling block here at around 1150, 1175 feet per second, where a 44-40, typically a full load, a full power of 44-40 is around 1300 feet per second. So it's a little bit lower, but it's pretty similar and pretty for a lightweight rifle. It's pretty powerful. All right, that's 3 shots with the #2 rolling block. Now my old eyes aren't as good as they used to be, so without a tang sight, my sighting on target is less than stellar. But let's take a walk down and take a look at the target. I'm going to pause you for a second, and we'll pick it back up down there. All right, guys, I'm down here at the target, and let's take a look here. So here we go. This is the Remington here, and I got 3 shots and just over an inch, I suppose, something like that. I think that did pretty good. And then here's the Ballard, and that's also got 3 shots that are maybe just a hair, inch and a half maybe. So again, not too bad for my old aged eyes, but both these rifles shoot really good, and I think that's the takeaway from this. You can these old rifles, less than 150 years old, give or take a little bit. If the bores are decent, I mean, they don't have to be perfect. You're going to very rarely find a rifle that's got a perfect bore anymore in these, unless it's a really high collector grade. But with a proper size bullet and a good load, these rifles are still very accurate and can do really well. So they're a lot of fun. So if you see something like this on a gun show table, or you have an opportunity to pick one of these up, give them a second look. You might find something really unique and a lot of fun to shoot, and enjoy that little piece of history. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll have more videos coming out soon. Take care. Bye.